done this week that you can tell me about? Okay, thank you, Mrs. Ha. She is recording. All right, we have another test for you. I've got a test for you. We'll review some of the speaking tips. And then we'll be looking at the bar chart. The bar chart, just for a change. Does anyone have any questions for me before we start? Okay, let's start. Okay, Michael, seeing as you are first. Okay, Michael, one thing that has happened to you this week. Zung Ha is here. Hello, Zung Ha.
Hi,
How are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Good, good. Welcome to the class. Okay, Michael, one thing that's happened to you this week, please.
Well, one thing that has happened to me this week is I got a new friend.
A new friend.
Yes, well, he's older than me and he's from Canada.
Canada. Wow, really? He comes from Canada. So is he Vietnamese or Canadian?
Oh, he have both of the bloodlines.
Right. So he is part Vietnamese.
Yeah, he's part Vietnamese and also Canadian.
Also Canadian. Okay. So where was he born? In Canada or Vietnam?
He was born in Vietnam,
Yes.
but he went to Canada for study. And his father is a Canadian.
Right. Okay. So how long has he been in Canada?
Oh, I think he's been in Canada for like 5 years now.
5 years. Oh, okay. So not that long. So he can still speak Vietnamese.
Yeah, he do. He do.
Okay. He does. He does.
He does
He
speak
does.
Vietnamese more
Okay.
fluently than Canada.
More fluently than Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian.
Canadian. Okay, very good, Michael. Good English. Thank you. Okay, Tuk Lin, your turn, please.
Okay. Last week I had a presentation and I did it well, and my teacher had a compliment on my performance.
Oh,
That
good.
makes
Okay,
me-
sorry. My teacher complimented.
Yes,
Can you say that? Can you say that? Complimented.
complimented
Good. Complimented me.
complimented on
Good.
my performance.
Good. Yeah, please go on.
That made me so happy for a week.
Good. That's great. Why? What did you actually do? What subject was this?
This subject is about commercial law.
Commercial law. Okay, I understand. Right. This was, what would you say? You would just say commercial law. So if I say to you, what subject is this? You would say commercial law.
Yes.
Does that make sense? She's
Yes.
frozen. Okay. Okay. Sorry, Tuk Lin. You froze for a moment.
Oh,
Okay. So if I say, can you hear me now? Can you hear me,
yes.
Tuk Lin? Okay,
Yes.
good. So if I say to you, what subject is this? You just say commercial law. Okay. Okay. You don't need to repeat to me the subject is commercial law. You just say commercial law. Okay, that's great. Good news, Tuk Lin. That's great. I'm glad your teacher complimented you. Complimented. So that's the past tense. All right.
Yes.
All right. She gave me a compliment. She complimented me. Okay. Past tense, complimented. All right. Cho Zhang. Cho Zhang.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Cho Zhang. Whenever you're ready, please. What happened to you this week?
On this week, my school held on a First of all, the students have to wear clothes with a different topic on each day. And it was hard with me to choose a perfect outfit, but I was really enjoyed that week.
Okay, so tell me a little bit more about this. So you had to wear different clothes each day about a different topic. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, for example.
Like the topic that school gave to us on Monday is have to wear the color red. So in that day we must be wear or have any accessories. Yes,
Okay,
that is
I
one.
understand. I understand. So remember, we're talking past tense, Zhou Shang. So
Yes.
this has already happened. Is that right? So
Yes.
we are talking about last Monday.
This Monday.
Is that right? What, this Monday? This Monday that is coming, or last Monday that has already been? Last Monday.
Yes.
Okay, so last Monday we had to wear the color red. Okay, we had, remember we used the word had, past tense. Last Monday the topic was red. We had to wear the color red. All right, what was the topic on Tuesday, Zhou Shang?
I didn't remember well, but maybe it might be old-fashioned.
Might be old-fashioned.
Yeah.
Okay. So instead of saying I didn't remember well, you would say I don't remember well. I don't remember well. I do not remember well. But it might be old-fashioned. Well, that sounds very interesting. Was it fun, Zhou Zhang?
Yes, it was really fun.
Okay, good. All right, thank you for that. Okay, Tinduk. Hello, Tinduk.
You call?
Yes, I did. Your turn, please.
Wi-Fi have a problem and I can hear you.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit, okay. Yeah, my signal is leaving here, okay. So it should be fine.
Yeah, and your question is what I'm done last week?
Yes.
I was voted class leader last week.
Wow, congratulations. And that's good English too. I was voted class leader last week. So good past tense. You were voted. So what does that mean, Tinduk? What do you have to do?
In my first time to my classroom, my classmate, well, we talked together and talk to a teacher, and she have a question with us. Do you have to lead the class? And I agree. And so the classroom vote me.
Okay, that's great. So what does the class leader do? He's frozen.
Oh, sorry, but my Wi-Fi have a problem. I can
Okay,
hear you.
I can hear you. Okay, so what does the class leader do, Tinduk? I can still hear you. Can you hear me, Tinduk?
No, my internet is so bad.
Okay. Do you want to turn your picture off? Maybe that will help. Okay. While we are waiting, Hakan.
Hello.
Okay, Hatan, your turn, please. What is one thing you have done this week?
Oh, okay. So last week my school has started to rebuild. You know, right?
Rebuild. Yeah, last week my school has started to rebuild. Okay.
Yeah, and some inconvenient thing happened to me, such as my school rebuilt, which means that the the parking place have to
Mhm.
also have to rebuild, had to rebuild too, and of course I couldn't use my vehicles.
Right. So you say the parking place is being rebuilt too. Okay, is what you say. And then you would say, so there is no room to park my vehicles, or there is nowhere to park my vehicles.
Okay.
Okay, that's what you say. Okay, how long is it going to take to rebuild your school?
Well, it might take about 2 months.
2 months. Okay, that's not too long. How do you normally go to school, Hakan?
Well, I usually use my bicycle, but
Right.
now because it is rebuilding, so my dad will take me to my school.
Okay, okay. Okay, good. Good English. Thank you, Hakan. I was just about to talk to Tinduk, but he disappeared. Zung Ha. Zung Ha.
Yes.
Okay, Zung Ha, your turn, please.
So last week nothing special happened to me. I just go to school and study like usually.
Okay, I just went to school.
I just went to school and
Yep.
study
And-
as usually.
And studied as usual. I just went to school and studied as usual. Okay. Do you have any exam coming up, Sung Ha?
I will have a lot of exam coming up next week.
Right. In how many subjects?
About 4 to 5 subjects.
Okay. What is your worst subject?
My worst subject, I think, is physics.
Okay. Do you like physics?
I really like physics because in secondary school I got my physics mark got high physics marks.
Right,
But
that's good. I got high physics marks. That's good. Good English. Okay. But it is your worst subject, did you say? Is that right?
yes, because in high school it get much harder. So I don't
Right.
think I will get hard anymore.
Okay. Good luck with that, Zung Ha. That was good English, by the way, Zung Ha. That was good
Thank
English.
you.
It is much harder, so I don't think I will get good marks anymore. That is perfect English. Well done. Okay. Jia Wei, how are you?
Okay.
Good. Your picture very clear this
Yeah,
afternoon, Jia Wei. Looks good.
I use this laptop. It's not mine.
Right. Okay. Looks very good. And I can hear you perfectly too. Okay, Jia Wei, what is something that happened to you this week?
Give me a second. Do you hear the music sound? Like,
I can hear all the music. Can you turn the music off?
I don't know when to turn that off. Give me a second.
Okay. Okay, while he is doing that, Tin Duk, if you can hear me, please keep your camera off. Okay, maybe that will help with the internet.
Yeah.
What
Now
do
I
you
can hear
think?
you.
Oh, you can hear me. I can see you fine now too. That's better. Okay, I'm glad it's working. Okay, just go back to Jia Wei, the last one. Can you hear me, Jia Wei?
Yes,
He's
I can hear
looking
you, but
concerned.
I still cannot turn off the sound.
Okay. Okay, we will wait for. What do you think, shall we? Can you hear me now?
Okay, I can hear you now.
Oh, good. I can't hear any music. Good.
Okay.
All right. So, Xiaowei, what has happened to you this week?
This week, I haven't do anything much this week because this week we have
I haven't done anything much. Haven't done.
Yes, I haven't
Past
done
tense.
anything much this week.
Yep.
Because next week we have like the last exam for our semester. We have like 4 to 5 subjects to we have to have test 4 to 5 subjects. So this week I learned a lot at home and
Right.
school.
Okay, very good. No more questions for you, Xiaowei. That was good English. Everything was good. Thank you. Okay, good luck for your exams next week. Okay, Bhutan has joined us. Hello, Bhutan.
Hello, Mr. Rick.
How are you?
I'm good.
Good. Can you turn your camera on, please, Bhutan, so I can see you?
Oh, okay.
Okay, that's good. Much better. All right, Bhutan, what is one thing that has happened to you this week?
Let me think.
Hey, something you've done or something that's happened to you?
Oh. I never I don't have anything in the weekend.
So you would say, I don't have anything special to tell you. Can you say that for me? I don't have anything special to tell you.
I don't have anything special to tell you.
Good. Okay. So what about next week? What is happening next week? For example, Zhao Wei was just telling me he has exams. Also, Zung Ha, they were saying they have exams next week. What about you?
I will have child to join basketball team in my
Oh,
university.
really? Okay, you'll have a trial to join the basketball team.
Yes.
Okay, sounds good. Is this for your school?
It's for my university.
You're for your university team. Okay. What position do you play, Bhutan?
I'm playing point guard.
Okay, good, good. How long have you been playing basketball for?
I'm playing for 5 years.
Okay, I've been playing for 5 years. Can you say that, please? I've been playing.
I've been playing for 5 years.
Okay, perfect. That's good. Okay, thank you, Bhutan. That's great. All right. Anyone else joined us? No, I don't think so. Just waiting to see. I haven't seen Bao Nok yet, but maybe she's away. All right, everyone. So we will look at today's test, which is here. Okay. Michael.
Yes.
Okay, Michael, can you please read the first sentence for me?
Okay. Test 15. Phrasal verbs or verbs that consist of a verb and a particle. Example: look up, go through, make out.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Michael. And by the way, remember that EG stands for example. Okay. Tinduk.
Yes.
Okay, can you read the next sentence for me, please?
Particles are small words which you already know as preposition or above. Example: about, around, at, away, back, down, for, in, into, of, on, out, over. etc.
Okay. So you pronounce this etc. Can you say that, please, Tinduk? Etc. Etc. Correct. Correct. And as you probably know, it just means and so on. Okay. Chou Zhang.
Yes.
Okay, Zhou, can you read the next sentence for me, please?
You need to learn the meaning of the phrasal verb as a unit.
Remember how to say this? E.g.
E.g. look up.
Yeah. Okay, e.g. or for example. That's what e.g. means. For example, look up. Okay, so what this means, everyone, these phrases you don't learn as individual words, you learn them as phrases. For example, look up. Okay, go through, make out. All right, so you need to learn the phrases, not the individual words. So what I want you to do is, first of all, identify the 11 phrasal verbs in these sentences. All right, so this first sentence has 2 phrasal verbs in it. Where am I up to? Tuklin.
Yes.
Okay, Tuklin, what are the 2 phrasal verbs? Can you read me the sentence, please, and then tell me the 2 phrasal verbs?
Okay. I sent off the order last week, but the goods haven't turned up yet. I think
Okay.
the first phrasal verb is send off.
Correct. And the second one?
Is turned up.
Correct. Okay, good. Well done. Okay, so sent off and turned up are the 2 phrasal verbs in that. Number 2, please, Hakan. Can you read me the sentence, Hakan?
I came across an interesting book in the library and notes down the title.
Okay, so the 2 phrasal verbs are what, Hakan?
The 2 phrasal verbs are came across and
Yes.
notes down.
Noted down. Okay, noted down. All right, very good. Came across and noted down are the 2 phrasal verbs. By the way, anyone doesn't understand what any of these phrasal verbs are, please ask me. All right, Zung Ha.
Yes,
Number 3, please.
the aircon was playing up and then the car broke down. First one is playing up and the second one is broke down.
Good. Okay, you're doing well at these. Okay, not too difficult. Thank you, Zung Ha. Jia Wei.
Yes.
Okay, number 4, please.
I brought up this item at the last meeting. It's time to sort out the problem. The first one is brought up and the second is sort out.
Correct. Okay, not too difficult. Thank you, Jia Wei. Okay, Bhutan.
I wish he would stop messing us about. He's pushed the meeting off 3 times and now he wants to call it off altogether.
Okay, so 3 phrasal verbs this time. What are they?
I think the first is he would.
He would is no, he would. It is, in fact, messing us about.
And meeting.
Okay. What is the next? Do you know what number 2 is?
And now.
Sorry, number 2, Bhutan?
I think number 2 is he want to call.
No, there is one before that. This one is a tricky one. Little bit tricky, Bhutan, this one.
Is now.
Number 2, I will tell you what it is. It is this one, is put off. Okay, it is put off, but you will notice there is this in the middle of it. So the phrasal verb is still put off, okay? But in this case, there are another 2 words in the middle of the phrasal verb. Sometimes this happens, all right?
Yes.
Okay, so the first one is messing about is the first phrasal verb, but it has us in the middle. But messing about is the phrasal verb. The second phrasal verb is put off, but it has this in the middle. But that doesn't matter because this is still the phrasal verb is put off. Remember, has a verb and a particle. What is number 3, Bhutan? What is number 3?
I think it's call off.
Yes, call off. Well done. Okay, so even though it has it in the middle, doesn't matter. Call off is still the phrasal verb. Okay, everyone did pretty well at that. So again, the whole point of this, why I'm showing you this, is that you don't need to try to work out each individual word. You just need to remember the whole phrase, such as sent off, turned up, okay, came across, noted down. You remember the phrase, not each individual word. Okay, next one. Michael. Okay,
Hello?
can you hear me, Mike? Yeah, can you hear me, Michael?
Yes, I can hear you too.
Okay, we have 3 sentences here that need correcting, okay, because the phrasal verbs aren't in the right place. All right, can you please read me the sentence as it is and then read me the correction, okay?
Okay. She looked at the children after when their mother was in the hospital. I will recorrect it as she looked after the children when their mother was in the hospital.
Correct. And what is the phrasal verb, Michael? What should it be?
Looks after.
Correct. Well done, Michael. Looked after is the phrasal verb. Okay, so looked and after should go together. Okay, number 2, Tinduk. Tinduk.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, number 2, can you please read it and then give me the correction? So read it first.
We ate out a wonderful dinner last night, and I don't see any mistake.
Okay, there is a mistake. Okay, there is a mistake. All right, see if Cho Zhang knows. Cho Zhang.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Cho Zhang, can you see sentence number 2?
Yes.
Okay, how would you correct this? This sentence has a mistake in it. Okay, remember we are looking at making a phrasal verb here. So we ate out a wonderful dinner last night is not correct. Do you know how to correct it, Cho Zhang?
No.
If you are not sure, just please tell me.
No,
You're not sure. Okay.
I'm not really sure.
Okay, that's fine. Tuk Lin. What do you think?
I think it's not it, but I don't know how to.
You're not sure how to correct it. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Let's see if someone else knows. Hakan.
Yes.
Okay. You know how to correct the sentence, Hakan?
Well, I think we issued the news out, but I don't know how to replace or fix it.
Okay. So all those words do go in there, but the order is not correct. Okay. Who haven't I asked? Zungha. Do you know?
Yes.
Do you know?
Yes, we ate a wonderful dinner out last night.
Is correct. Well done, Zungha. Okay. We ate a wonderful dinner out last night. So ate out is the phrasal verb, but the wonderful dinner must go in the middle here. We ate a wonderful dinner out last night. Well done, Zungha. Okay. And shall we? Shall we?
Yes.
Okay, number 3, please, shall we?
It was a beautiful summer evening, so I asked the cat out for a drink. I
What is wrong
asked
with this
out,
sentence?
asked out the cat for a drink.
No, this is just a trick one, actually. Okay, so the trick is, of course, you can't ask a cat out for a drink. Okay,
Yes.
all right. So the phrasal verb is correct. Okay,
Okay.
it's just that you can't ask a cat out for a drink. Okay, so that's just a small joke. All right, but this sentence, apart from it says the cat, the order of everything is correct. So again, I'll just remind you, number 2 was the one that most of you had trouble with. It should be, we ate a wonderful dinner out last night. Okay, so of course we ate a wonderful dinner. That must be the sentence. Okay, what did you eat? We didn't eat out. We ate a wonderful dinner out. Okay, so for this one now, I'm going to get you to do all of them, and then I will ask you the answers, and I will give you a mark, all right, out of 7. All right. So you need to complete these sentences with one of these prepositions, okay? With, to, against, or on. All right, and this part here just explains that sometimes phrasal verbs, such as puts up, are followed by a particular preposition to make 3-part verbs. These are the prepositions, okay? See if you can choose the correct one. Okay. Who didn't I ask last time? Okay, Bhutan, I'm starting with you, please. Bhutan?
Her son is so horrible. I don't know how she put up with him.
Number 2.
I'm looking forward to the weekend.
Number 3.
She's been going out with him for 6 months ago. 6 months now.
Number 4.
She seems to look down on people who are less intelligent than her.
Number 5.
I came up with a serious problem when I tried to save my work.
Number 6.
To save money, the company decided to do away again free parking for staff.
Okay, and number 7.
How can some students get away on doing no work and still pass the exam?
Okay. Thank you, Bhutan. All right, I will give everyone their score and the correct answers at the end. Michael, you are next, please.
The son is so horrible. I don't know how she put up with him. I've been
Number 2.
looking forward. I've been looking forward to the weekend. She's been going out with him for 6 months now. She seems to look down on people who are less intelligent than her. I came up with a serious problem when I tried to save my work. To save money, the company decided to do away with free parking for staff. How can some student get away with doing no work and still pass the exam?
Okay, thank you, Michael. Tinduk.
Her son is so horrible. I don't know how she put up with him. I'm looking forward to the weekend. She's been going out with him for 6 months now. She seems to look down with people who are less intelligent than her. I come up with a serious problem when I try to save my work. To save money, the company decided to do away against free parking for staff. How can some student get away get away against doing no work and still pass the exam. The exam.
Okay, thank you, Tindok. All right, Cho Zhang.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay,
So the number one is her son is so horrible. I don't know how she puts up with him. Two, I'm looking forward to the weekend. She's been going out with him for 6 months now. She seems to look down on people who are less intelligent than her. I came up with a serious problem when I tried to save my work. To save money, the company decided to do away on free parking for staff. And the last is, how can some students get away on doing no work and still pass the exams?
okay, thank you, Cho Zhang. Tuk Lin, please. Tuk Lin.
Okay. Her son is so horrible. I don't know how she put up with him. Number two, I'm looking forward to the weekend. Number three, she has been going out with him for 6 months now. Number four, she seems to look down on people who are less intelligent than her. Number five, I came up against a serious problem when I tried to save my work. Number six, to save money, the company decided to do away with free parking for staff. Number seven, how can students get away with doing no homework and still pass the exam?
Okay, very good. Thank you, Tuk Lin. Hakan. Hakan.
Her son is so horrible. I don't know how she put up with him. I'm looking forward to the weekend. She has been going out with him for 6 months now. She seemed to look down on people who are less intelligent than her. I came up against a serious problem when I tried to save my work. To save money, the company decided to do away with free parking for staff. How can some student get away on doing no work and still pass the exam?
Okay, thank you, Hakan. Zung Ha. Zung Ha.
Her son is so horrible. I don't know how she put up with him. I'm looking forward to the weekend. She's been going out with him for 6 months now. She seems to look down on people who are less intelligent than her. I came up with a serious problem when I tried to save my work. To save money, the company decided to do away against free parking for staff. How can some students get away on doing no work and still pass the exams?
Okay, thank you, Zung Ha. And the last one, Zhao Wei. Zhao Wei.
Yes. Her son is horrible. So horrible. I don't know how she put up with him. Chắc là kiểu
Okay, you're still having some problem with the sound.
okay, I'm okay now.
Okay. Number two.
I'm looking forward to the weekend. She has been going out with him for 6 months now. She seems to look down on people who are less intelligent than her. I came up with a serious problem when I tried to save my work. To save money, the company decided to do away with free parking for staff. How can some students get away with doing no homework and still pass the exam?
Okay. Thank you, Zhao Wei. Okay. I will give you the correct answers and then I will tell you the score. Number one, her son is so horrible, I don't know how she puts up with him. Number two, I'm looking forward to the weekend. Number 3, she's been going out with him for 6 months now. Number 4, she seems to look down on people who are less intelligent than her. Number 5, most of you had a problem with this. I came up against a serious problem when I tried to save my work. Number 6, to save money, the company decided to do away with free parking for staff. And number 7, how can some students get away with doing no work and still pass the exams? Okay, so now the individual scores. Michael, 6. Hinduk, 3. Cho Zhang, 4. Hook Lin, 7. Hakan, 6. Zung Ha, 4. Dawi, 6. Bhutan, 4. So, congratulations, Hook Lin.
Thank you.
Okay, 7 out of 7. Perfect score. Okay, so just looking back at, sorry, I should say then 3 of you, Michael and Hakan and Jawi, all got just 1 wrong each. Okay, and for the one you got wrong, the one most people got wrong was number 5. I came up against a serious problem when I tried to save my work. Okay, so remember, we are looking at all of these as phrases, not just the individual words. So yes, I came up with is a correct phrase, but in the context of this sentence, okay, I came up with a serious problem, doesn't quite make sense in English. It must be I came up against a serious problem. In other words, it means I found a serious problem when I tried to save my work. So for this sentence, the word with doesn't fit because it doesn't make sense with the rest of the sentence. In another sentence, yes, it might make sense. I came up with is a correct phrasal verb, but not in this sentence. So a little bit of a tricky one there. And the other one people mainly had a problem with was the last one for some reason. How can some students get away with doing no work? Okay, with doing no work, get away with. Okay, so do away with, get away with are all very common phrases in English. Do away with, get away with. And these ones were much easier. Puts up with, look forward to, going out with, look down on. Okay, any questions about any of that? There's good practice for you just getting familiar with these phrases. And congratulations again, Tuk Lin, 7 out of 7. It's very good. Okay.
Yes.
All right, Tuk Lin, that's 2 compliments you've had from teachers this week. It's been a good week.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, now let's go. So what we are doing now is I'm just going to do a little bit more on the speaking test. I just want to check. This is mainly to help you, Hakan. Okay. Hello, Hakan. Hello, Hakan. Yes, I was saying, so this is mainly to help you. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. These are tips for just to remind you, because I know the speaking test isn't far away for you. All right. So remember, at the start of the speaking test, the examiner will ask you a few questions about yourself. Keep your answers short and simple and free of mistakes. 2 or 3 sentences only. And remember KIS. What does KIS stand for, Hakan?
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple, that's right. And remember, this is not officially part of the test, but if you make mistakes in this part, okay, then the examiner will start to get a little bit suspicious about your English. If you don't make any mistakes, then he will have a good impression about your English. So again, you just want to keep this part simple. Okay. So then he will or she will ask you questions. And these are things that you can think about in advance, okay? Because there are not that many basic questions that someone can ask you about yourself. So you can easily prepare for most of the possibilities. And the questions are usually about, tell us something about yourself, your home or your hometown, your studies, your interests, your hobbies, the food you like to eat, the places you like to visit. You can think of all this in advance. Okay, Hakan?
Okay.
Hello? Okay, Hakan, you understand what I'm saying?
Okay, so you
Yeah.
mean that in the first one I should talk about this to introduce myself, right?
Yeah, that's right. So you can practice this in advance because there are not that many subjects that they will ask you about. So in your mind already, you can have an answer ready to these questions. What is a favorite place you like to visit at weekends? So you can work that out in advance. Think about that in advance. What's your favorite food? Okay. What is your, what do you like to do in your spare time? Okay, so all these things, remember, you can think about in advance of this. It makes it much easier. Okay, and then maybe they will ask you more questions in detail. Okay, tell me more about your hometown. What's the most interesting part of your hometown? So again, you can think about these questions in advance. For me, for example, the most interesting part of Hanoi is the old quarter. I think the old quarter of Hanoi is very interesting because it has the interesting buildings, okay, the small and interesting streets, a lot of little interesting food places. So you can think about all this in advance. Okay, so all this is very simple. And also, you need just to practice a little bit of vocabulary about your house or apartment. For example, I live in a high-rise building. Okay, I live in the suburbs. Okay, I live on the outskirts of Hanoi. Outskirts, everyone should know this, means on the outer edge of the city, the outskirts, the outer edge of the city. So again, just practice or make yourself familiar with this sort of vocabulary and these sort of adverbs and adjectives.
Countryside, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Exactly. And remember just words like this, spacious. Okay, spacious is a good, more formal word, or meaning you have plenty of room. I live in a spacious apartment. Or the opposite, my apartment is not very spacious. Okay, my apartment is tiny, or my apartment is cramped. Cramped is another word meaning very small. Okay, I'm cramped. Cramped means I live somewhere very small. I live somewhere very comfortable. My apartment is very comfortable. Or my apartment is very uncomfortable. The street where I live is peaceful. The street where I live is noisy. Again, just familiarize, just remember these words. All right. If they ask you who you live with, you should be able to talk about that very easily. Okay. Any questions about anything to do with this, Hakan?
No.
Okay. This is all very basic, very simple things, but you should think about it in advance of the test because this is the kind of thing they will ask you and it will help to calm your nerves and help you feel less stressed if you have some of these answers prepared in advance. Okay. Okay, and the last thing I have here, this is just a suggestion about thinking of a story to tell. Okay, and the story I remember, Michael. Hello, Michael. Hello, Michael. Yes.
Hello.
Yep. Okay. I'm talking about you, Michael. All right. So I remember when we did this exercise a few weeks ago, you told me the story about going to the restaurant. Do you remember this?
Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Okay. And you were talking about the cost of dinner at the restaurant and what your father did. Is that right? Do you remember?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. So I remember this because it was an interesting story. Okay.
Thank you.
Because of the reaction of your father. Okay. So the point I'm trying to make here, Hakan, is if you can think of some sort of interesting story or interesting thing that has happened to you in the past, okay, you can try and use that for any number of different situations. Okay, so for example, Michael's story. Michael, can you please tell me your story again? What happened at the restaurant? Please tell everybody.
Well, we went to an old-fashioned restaurant, and I guess the price of the food made my dad shocked a lot. He almost fell out of his chair.
Okay, so Michael's father was shocked at the price in the restaurant. Okay, maybe he almost fell out of his chair, or maybe he put his hands on his head, said, "Oh my God, is that how much it costs? Really?" You know, so, okay, is that right, Michael? So your father was shocked at the price.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, okay. So Michael's story about the restaurant can be used in several different situations. It can be used in, tell me a story about your family. Tell me a story about what happened to you when you went out somewhere. Tell me a story about your favorite food. Does this make sense, Hakan?
Do you mean that if they ask like, do you like your study, I can tell some story which was
Yes.
happened in my
Yes.
school, right?
Right,
Or maybe
exactly.
that they
Yeah.
ask why what I do every day, so I can talk
Yes.
about memory about my activity, right?
You can, yes. But remember, so what I'm trying to say, though, is like Michael's story, you can use about what happened in the restaurant, you can use in other situations if you think about it a little bit. Okay, so Michael could use that story in if he was asked to say something about his family. He could tell that story if he was asked to talk about something that he did at the weekend. He could tell that story if he's asked something about his favorite food. Okay, he can use the same story. Tuk Lin.
Yes,
Yes. Does this make sense to you, Tuk Lin?
yes,
So you can have one story, okay? Think of a good story and then just think about how you can adapt it to different situations depending on what
yes.
you are asked. Yeah, good. All right. So does this make sense, Hakan? Hello, Hakan.
Yes, this makes sense.
Good, good. Jiahui, does this make sense to you, Jiahui?
Yes.
Okay, so remember, a good story is always a very good way of getting someone's attention. So you only need to have one or two good stories about something interesting or exciting that happened to you, and then you can use it in different situations. So that is the main point of what I am telling you about the speaking test for this afternoon. Okay, think of one or two good stories and then think about just how you can adapt them to different situations. Are there any questions with that? Okay. All right. So where is okay. All right, back to our friend, the line graph. I don't want to spend too long on this, just a bit of quick revision. Okay. So what we're going to revise with this is just very quickly remembering that this, where you can see me moving up and down, the vertical axis, oops, the vertical axis is called the x-axis, the horizontal axis is called the y-axis. Looking at the graph itself, okay, this here is a peak, okay, is how you describe it. This here is the lowest point, all right? This is also the lowest point for this particular measure. This line here is falling or decreasing. This line here is rising or increasing. Okay, this line here is staying the same or doesn't change or remains stable. Okay, this line here rises steeply. This line here rises gradually. Okay, I think you should all know this by now. This is all basic stuff for you. These are all basic terms. I will just very quickly ask you some questions now about this. I will start with you, Bhutan. Bhutan.
I'm here.
Okay, Bhutan. In the year 2000, how many people in Vietnam were injured in traffic accidents?
I think it's about 2 million people.
Okay, about 2 million people. Very good. 2 million. I would probably say it's below the line, Bhutan, so I would say maybe 1.9. Okay?
Yes.
1.9 is closer. That's good. Okay. Jawi.
Yes.
Jawi, in what year was the peak of traffic accidents in Vietnam? What year was the peak of traffic accidents?
Peak. What?
Okay, so remember down here, this is the key to what these lines here mean. This is the key.
Yes.
So what year was the peak for traffic accidents in Vietnam?
Can you repeat a peak of what?
The peak for traffic accidents. Do you understand what I'm saying?
The first one. Like
What year, what year is the peak for traffic accidents? Remember, a few moments ago, I was talking about what peak means. Sorry, Jawi?
The peak at the high.
Yes.
The 1980 and
Correct. 1980 is right. So everyone, please remember, this is a peak. Okay, this shape here is a peak. A peak. Okay. Zung Ha.
Yes.
Okay. What year was the low point or the number of police officers in Vietnam?
Is 1980.
Correct. 1980. And I'm sure the rest of you can see this. This is the low point for the number of police officers in Vietnam. Ha Khan. Okay, Ha Khan. How would you describe what happened to the number of cars in Vietnam between 1960 and 1980? What happened to the number of cars?
The number of cars is well still remainable, right?
Okay, how do you say that though in proper incorrect English?
What?
How do you say that in correct English?
Oh, So you want me to say that the number of people in Vietnam who own cars still.
Now we're looking at the number of, well, the number of people in Vietnam who own cars. Okay.
Yeah, from 1960 to 1980, right?
Yes. What happened?
Yeah, is like didn't have any change.
Okay. So in correct English, you would have to say remained unchanged.
Oh,
Okay.
remain stable.
Remained unchanged. Yes. Or remained stable. Or didn't change. Something like that. Okay, so you have the right idea, Hakan. I'm just trying to make sure you are using the correct English words. Okay, so everyone, between 1960 and 1980, the number of people who own cars remained the same. Remember, I'm talking about 1960 to 1980, so I must use past tense. So it remained the same. All right, it stayed unchanged, or it stayed stable. Okay, Tuk Lin.
Yes.
Okay, Tuk Lin. How many people were injured in traffic accidents in 1970?
1970, 1970. I think it's about 3.5 million people.
Correct. About 3.5 billion. Okay, so what Tuk Lin is looking at is this point here on the graph. Good. Okay, Cho Zhang. Cho Zhang.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Cho Zhang. One a little bit more complicated for you. Okay, can you describe to me in one sentence, okay, what happened to the number of police officers supervising traffic between 1960 and 2020? Can you describe for me in one sentence what happened?
In 1960, the number of police officers supervising traffic in Vietnam was decreased.
Yes.
In 1980, and jumped dramatically against in 2020.
Okay, almost correct, Cho-san, almost correct. Good try. I like the way you use dramatically too. That's good. I will give you the sentence now. Everyone, okay. So between 1960 and 1980, the number of police officers supervising traffic in Vietnam fell to a low point of around 2.5 million before rising to reach 4.5 million in 2020. Okay, so that was all one sentence. I will do it again. All right. Between 1960 and 1980, the number of police officers supervising traffic in Vietnam fell to a low point of 2.5 million, rising to reach 4.5 million in 2020. Does that make sense, Cho Zhang?
Yes.
Okay, so the only thing I left out was your dramatically, okay? So I could have also said before rising dramatically to reach 4.5 million in 2020. Okay. Tin Duc.
Yeah.
Okay. What was the peak number or the number of people or sorry, what year was the peak for the number of people in Vietnam who own cars?
Whole car.
Who own cars? What year was the peak for the number?
2020.
Correct. Okay, so we're looking at here, 2020. So please remember, everyone, a peak doesn't have to have two sides. Doesn't have to have two sides like this. All right, so this is a peak. This is also a peak, even though it only has one side. A peak is the highest point. Okay, so it doesn't have to have two sides, can just have one side. All right, and Michael, last one for you.
Yeah.
Are you ready, Michael?
Yes, I am.
Okay, can you please give me one sentence like I did before? Okay, one sentence to describe what happened to the number of, let me see here, the number of people in Vietnam who own cars between 1960 and 2020. Can you do it in one sentence? Yeah.
From
Okay.
1960 to 2020 had
Okay, so remember we're looking at this line here. Okay, this one.
had an increase in numbers.
Okay, so you would have to start off your sentence with the word between. Between.
The number of people in Vietnam who own cars between 1916 to 2020 had an increase in numbers from 2 million to approximately 4.9 million.
Okay, that's not bad, Michael. Not bad. Okay, I would do it like this. Okay, I would say between 1960 and 2000, the number of people who own cars in Vietnam increased from 2 million to 4.9 million after remaining stable for a number of years. Okay, so what I've just said there, does this make sense, Michael? I managed to include everything that happened in that line.
Oh, okay.
I'll do it again, just so you can follow me. All right, between 1960 and 2020, the number of people who own cars in Vietnam increased from 2 million to 4.9 million after remaining stable for 20 years. Does that make sense, Michael, what I did? Yeah, okay. So that's how you describe a line like this in one sentence. And this is what you should be able to do for the exam. And of course, in the exam, you will write this, of course.
Oh.
And not just talk about it. But that is the sort of thing you should be able to say in your mind, and then you just write it down. All right. For the last part of the lesson for this afternoon, we are going to look at how to describe a bar chart. How to describe a bar chart. All right. What we've just looked at is how to describe a line graph. This is a bar chart. Okay. Let's take a quick look at what is happening here. Okay. Where did we get up to? Bhutan. Bhutan.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Bhutan, what does the x-axis in this graph measure, do you think? Have a look at the title, okay, then tell me what the x-axis is measuring.
It's the expenditure of two countries on consumer goods in 2000.
Okay, you can say 2010 is the easy way to say this, okay, 2010. Okay, all right, so that is the title of the graph, what is this? No, this is the x-axis. What does the x-axis measure? Okay, you can see here it's got 50,000, 100, 150,000 watt Bhutan. 50,000 watt, 100,000 watt.
I think
Do you know?
I don't know.
Okay. Zawi.
Yes.
The x-axis, we're looking at, shall we?
Yes.
Right. Okay, so you can see these numbers here. What
Yeah.
do they represent?
They're
Can you tell me? Not sure.
I'm not sure.
Okay. Zungha.
Yes,
What do you think, Zungha? The x-axis.
I think it's measure
Of
the
what?
pound sterling.
Correct. Thank you, Zungha. Okay, everyone. Bhutan and Zawi, this is a measure of pound sterling. How do we know that? Because it says it in small writing after the title. Okay? All right. So please remember to read the title carefully. Okay. So the first thing you need to do when you're looking at a graph is work out what the different axes measure. Hakan. Okay, Hakan, what is on the y-axis? This is much easier.
What is the y? What?
The y-axis of this graph.
Well, what do you mean? I only see blue and orange.
But remember what the y-axis is, Hakan? Remember, it is this horizontal line, okay?
Oh.
So we already know that this here, the x-axis, is showing us pounds sterling, okay? This here. Okay, what is the y-axis showing us?
Yeah, what the y says me. Okay. I think.
Okay. So you have to remember the x-axis is always the vertical axis of a graph. Okay.
All right.
The y-axis is always the horizontal axis of a graph.
So you mean is cars or computers, books, and cameras on perfume, right?
Correct. And what is the term for all of these things?
You mean the number?
And the clue is in the title. What is the name? The name you can describe all of these things as.
Oh, this consumer costs.
Correct. Yes, these are consumer goods. Consumer goods. Okay. Okay, good. So cars, computers, books, perfume, and cameras are all consumer goods. And again, how do you know this? Because it says it in the title. So please, you must remember to read the title carefully, because obviously you can't write about this graph unless you know what each axis is measuring. So you have to work this out fast before you can write about it. Okay. So remember, the first thing you must do in these sort of questions is to paraphrase the title. Okay, you remember the acronym I've talked about for the last few weeks, POT. All right, paraphrase, overview, and 2 detail paragraphs. The first thing you do is paraphrase the title in no more than 2 sentences. right? So I've done this for you. So this is the title of the graph. All right. Tuklin. Tuklin,
Yes,
can you read the title of the graph for me, please?
yes. The chart below show the expenditures of two countries on consumer goods in 2010.
Okay, good. So expenditure. Can you say that for me, please, Tuklin?
Yes, expenditure.
Good. Expenditure. All expenditure means is the amount of money that has been spent. Expenditure means the amount of money that has been spent. Okay. And consumer goods. What are the consumer goods, Tuklin? What are they? Looking at the graph, look at the graph and tell me what the consumer goods are.
There are cars, computers, books, perfume, and camera.
Correct. They are. That is exactly what the consumer goods are. Good. Thank you. All right. Cho Zhang.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, Cho Zhang. So you can see the title of the graph here. Please read my paraphrase.
The chart illustrates the amount of money spent on 5 consumer goods, cars, computers, books, perfume, and cameras in France and the UK in 2010. Means were in pounds sterling.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Cho Zhang. Okay, so this is how I have paraphrased this. So you can see the words that I have changed. I haven't changed every word, but I have changed some. So for example, I still say the chart, okay? The chart. Okay, but instead of shows, I've used the more formal word illustrates. I explained to Tuk Lin before what expenditure means. Okay, expenditure means the amount of money that's been spent. Okay, that's all expenditure means. So what I've done in my paraphrase is just write that out. Okay, on 5 consumer goods. All right, and I have listed the 5 consumer goods, the cars, computers, books, perfumes, and cameras. And I've mentioned the 2 countries, France, which is the blue line, UK, which is the brown line. In 2010, okay, I haven't changed that at all, measured in pounds sterling. So does anyone not understand what I have done here? Okay, good. So now we're on to the overview. Okay, remember POT, P-O-T, we've done the paraphrase. Now we're doing the O part, the overview. All right, so the overview is the most important paragraph in the answer to this question. You have to summarize the key features of the graph. Remember, if you don't have an overview, you won't get a score above 5. All right, you must have an overview, and you have the overview to show you understand what is in the graph or what the graph is showing you. Okay, so the sort of things you are looking for in a graph like this, you are looking for the high points and the low points. Okay, which country spends the most money? Tinduk.
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, looking at the graph, Tinduk, which country spends the most money on consumer goods? France or the UK?
UK, Spain.
Correct. The UK spends the most money. And you can easily tell this because the UK is the orange colored bar. And in most categories, okay, 3 out of 5 of them, the UK spends more money than France. So that one is easy. Okay. You look also at in what category, Michael?
Yes.
Okay, in what category was the least money spent?
Perfume.
Perfume is correct. Very easy to see. Okay, both countries didn't spend so much on perfume. All right, so these are all things you can put in your overview. Okay, 2 to 4 key features. Right. Bhutan.
Yeah.
All right, now we have done that. Give me one key feature I can put in my overview. One key feature of this graph. What have we just been talking about?
About the pound sterling.
Okay, we've been talking about pound sterling, but give me one now that I've already mentioned this. Okay, but now it is your turn to see if you can see if you've been paying attention. Give me one key feature of this graph.
I think the UK spend more pound sterling than the French.
Correct. Thank you, Bhutan. That is one key feature. The UK spends more money than France on consumer goods. Jawi.
Yes.
Okay, Jawi, what is another key feature?
The key feature.
Okay, so we've already had one. All right.
It
So I hope
can be-
everyone playing it, we've already had one. Okay, so the first key feature is the UK spends more money on consumer goods than France. Okay, what is another key feature?
the low.
Remember the key features, we are looking for things like the most popular or the least popular.
Yes.
Okay, so what is another key feature?
The perfume, the lowest one that most countries spend on.
Okay, sorry, your voice is echoing a bit, shall we?
Uh,
Can you say that again, please? Can you say that again?
The perfume one, the lowest one that most countries spend on.
Okay, so you would say in good English, both countries spend the least on perfume.
Yeah.
Both countries spent the least on perfume. Or another way of saying that is perfume was the least popular consumer good.
Yes.
Okay, perfume. Okay, that's good, shall we? All right, that's 2 we have now. Zung Ha.
Yes.
Okay, Zung Ha, another key feature, please, of this graph.
France spend less pound sterling on consumer good than UK.
We've already had that. Okay, in number 1, we've already said that the UK spent the most. All right, so of course France must spend less. All right, so we've already had that in a way. Can you think of another one? So the first key point is that the UK spends more money on consumer goods. So the second one is that perfume is the least popular consumer good. What is number 3?
Number 3 is car was the most popular consumer good for the both
Correct.
countries.
That's good, Sung Ha. Very good. Okay, we now have 3. We now have 3. There is one more, I think. Ha Khan. Hello, Hakan.
Hello.
Okay, Hakan, one more, please. Okay, so we've already had 3 key points for this.
So the
One more.
lowest and the highest, right? The highest is the cars and is the consumer good of UK cars, and the lowest is the cameras of France. Oh no, the perfume of UK. It is the lowest, right?
Yes, but we've already had that really. So we've already talked about, okay. So the key points we had so far are the UK spends more money than France. Okay, that is point number 1. Number 2 is perfume is the least popular of the consumer goods. Number 3, cars is the most popular of the consumer goods. Okay, so we've already had about perfume and cars. Can you give me one more that's not to do with perfume or cars?
Perfume or cars?
Yeah, not to do with perfume or cars. We've already mentioned
So
perfume
I
and cars.
talk about France, okay? So yeah, so we talk about cars in the UK, so we can talk about France. Is it true?
Not really. No, not France by itself. We need to have a point that involves both countries.
Oh,
There's
so
one
I
more.
think both countries spend perfume is the lowest.
Yeah, already had that. We've already had that.
Yeah, we also have the car of the two countries also highest too, right?
We've had that. There is one more. There is one more.
Yeah, I think I can do this.
Okay. Any clue?
No, I thought that was enough.
Okay, maybe, but there is one more. Yeah, 3 would probably be enough, but there is one more. Tuk Lin, just before we finish, can you tell me? Okay, Tuk Lin. So first of all, Tuk Lin, can you tell me the 3 main points we have so far?
The first is the UK spend much money than French.
Spends more money than France.
Yes.
Than France. Okay, that's number 1. The UK spends more money than France. Number 2.
It's cars is the most popular.
Correct. Cars are the most popular consumer good. Number 3.
Perfume is the
Least popular. Good. That's 3. Okay. Can you give me one more? One more. I know it is past. Can you see?
Cameras?
Yes, it is to do with cameras. And what is it? What is it?
The camera in the UK, the popular.
Almost. You are on the right track. Cho Zhang.
Yes, I'm here.
We are looking at cameras, okay? Looking at cameras. Okay, what is happening with cameras here?
So the expenditure that the UK spend money for cameras was higher than the France did.
It is how much higher? How much higher?
It might be about 250,000 pounds.
Okay. All right. You've got the right idea, Cho Zhang and Tuk Lin. Okay, Hakan. Okay, Hakan, I will explain this to you because this is the sort of important thing you will need to know for your test. So Number 4, okay, everyone, is cameras. Number 4 is cameras. And you can see here that the difference in expenditure between France and the UK is the most when it comes to cameras. So France spends 150,000 on cameras, all right? The UK spends 350,000 on cameras. So that is more than twice as much, more than twice as much. All the other categories, okay, are not so far apart. All the other categories between France and the UK are not so far apart. But the category where they are the most far apart is cameras, okay? The UK spends more than twice what France does on cameras. That is point number 4. All right, so very quickly, point number 1, the UK spends more money than France on consumer goods. Number 2, the least popular consumer good in both countries is perfume. Okay, number 3, cars are the most popular consumer good in both countries. And number 4, okay, the UK spends more than twice as much as France and cameras. All right, so does that make sense, Hakan? Okay, they are the 4 things, and this is the sort of thing that you need to put into your overview. 3 or 4 main points like that. Are there any questions? Any questions before we finish? Okay, all right, so for all of you who do have exams next week, good luck. Okay, Michael, can you turn your camera on, please? Zung Ha, I can't see you.
I'm still turning my camera on.
Okay, thank you. And
I think it was the
Hakan,
internet problem that my camera suddenly turned off.
okay, I can see you now. Hakan, I can't see you. Okay, so while we're waiting for Hakan to come back on, there you are. Okay, Hakan. All right, so thank you everyone for coming to the lesson this afternoon. Okay, I hope you found it useful. Next week, we will continue with more writing for the bar graph. Okay, so we've already done the paraphrase and we've already done how to look for the main differences in a bar graph. And on that particular bar graph, how many main differences were there, Putan? Putan? How many main differences did I tell you about?
It's about
1, 2, 3, or 4?
I think it's 3.
It was 4. Okay, 4. Please pay attention. Okay, everyone. So have a good week. And like I say, good luck if you have exams next week. And I will see you next Sunday. Bye, everyone. Bye.
Goodbye, Mr. Ray.
Bye.
Bye, Mr. Ray.
Have a good week.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye.
Okay, and Hakan, you are staying. Mrs. Ha.
Yeah.